from MCM and EGX. I'm Veronica Valencia, your senior video producer and host, and in case you missed it, MCM Comic-Con and EGX combined forces this fall, making the best weekend of the year even better. Between games, retro and tabletop, cosplay, panels, and loads of content, there's so much this show has to offer. If you couldn't join us this weekend, absolutely no worries. Let's take a look at all we got up to this weekend. Let's go.
From figures to Legos, there were so many cool things to see on the show floor, including this Lego mascot. I even got a picture with them. Ta-da! We got Gear 5 Luffy, a big ol' Shenron, and shiny bright claw games I couldn't resist. The EGX and MCM show floors bring together fans of gaming and pop culture all under one roof. There were tons of arcade games, including DDR, a personal favorite of mine. Gotta stretch.
Behind me is the ICC Auditorium, where fans gathered to watch some of the biggest panels of the weekend. We saw amazing conversations with the cast of Has-Been Hotel and Baldur's Gate 3, just to name a few. And of course, we had our cosplay competition, which showcased the wonderful craftsmanship from many talented cosplayers. Let's check out some of our top moments.
And with these shows being both in the same universe, what would you say you enjoy most about each of them?
Which one? Has-Been or the better one?
Both of them.
Oh wait, I'm on both. I don't care.
Oh, I guess I am too. Well, they're pretty much the same world. You know what I will say? I like that Has-Been is the more fantastical show, right? It has these big thematic elements like war and where you go when you die, a lot of existential shit. And Helluva, its problems are, you know, on paper quite small in comparison, yet they feel so much bigger. These are relationships with, you know, individuals that feel just as gargantuan as the other show where the world's ending. So I like that Viv, I mean, she creates both shows. She has such a grasp on every little detail on the show. I mean, there's such a product of who she is. And so for someone to be able to show run two shows simultaneously that stand in a very different place thematically, it's really impressive because it almost seems like they're written from two very different points of view, and it's all Viv. Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't think she gets enough credit for that, but it is hard. It is, I don't know if any of you have ran a show before. It is one of the hardest things to do, and with animation, you have hundreds of people that work underneath you, and you have to run all of that. She's doing it 2 times at the same time, plus the hell of a shorts. I don't know how she's not fucking crazy, and she might be.
She may be. The way I've talked about Has-Been and Hell of a Boss is that Has-Been Hotel feels to me more like a Broadway show, whereas Hell of a Boss feels like an off-Broadway show. Like, it feels much grittier, and I don't mean that in size. I mean that in that it feels like it's much more micro in the sense that it is just smaller stories, like smaller relationship-y stories, whereas Has-Been is this big, broad, big dance numbers, big, you know, things like that. So they have their merit in both worlds, but that's what I like about both of them. One, I feel like Has-Been is much grittier than Hell of a Boss. Like, Hell of a Boss has this beautiful sort of, not soft focus, but...
You mean the other way around. Has-Been, Helluva's much grittier.
Yes, that's what did I say? It doesn't matter.
Do you find that, or do you have great recall and remember everything and go, yes?
Absolutely not. No,
Right.
I've forgotten most of it.
Wow.
No, it's a mixture of the two, and it must be the same for you, Sam, where you're like, oh, no, I wonder if it is the same for you.
No, because I did it all in a short period, so
Oh, yeah.
I kind of remember
But Tim
it.
hasn't been.
I remember nothing.
Tim hasn't been playing it.
I remember nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You can't claim
Oblivious.
plausible deniability. You did this.
Did I?
You stick with it.
How dare you suggest such a thing?
It would be impossible for them to remember everything. It is insane.
That must be
playing
quite
it.
magical and surreal then, because it's stuff going back to the first year, and you go, wow, I'm watching it, but I don't remember doing it, and it's amazing. And
Directing on it 10 till 6 for 4 years. Not every
Yeah.
day, but like
Yeah.
every week. seeing all of that dialogue and now playing it, going, wow.
Yeah, wow.
In one playthrough, you will
Animated.
only scratch the surface.
The
There
animation
so
is
much.
incredible, isn't it?
You guys
But
recorded
isn't that-
so many lines.
Isn't that
So
the
many,
perfect
yeah.
metaphor for life? That you can meet each of these characters as your worst enemy, as your best friend, as your lover, and that's what every single person in this room could potentially be. They've got the potential to be that. It just shows how important it is to go beyond and look beyond your initial assumption about somebody, that your interactions with them shape that. I think that's a very psychologically healthy way to look at fantasy, as opposed to
Absolutely.
how do I make sex come out of this encounter?
This year's Artist Alley was filled with professional and independent artists, making it the largest MCM Artist Alley yet. Writer's Block highlighted the works of many authors, and if you're a book nerd, this was your chance to indulge in all things literary.
Whew. It has been a jam-packed weekend. For those of you at the show, thank you for joining us. And for those who couldn't make it, we understand. But that doesn't mean you have to miss out. Be sure to check out thepopverse.com for the latest content from MCM and EGX, as well as panels from the various stages. I'm Veronica Valencia, and I'll catch you at the next one.